I'm saying? Now, a few of y'all might have already heard about this, about how the music industry has very close ties with the private prison system.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because the music business has invested millions of dollars in the private prison system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you heard it correctly. Again, the music business and the entertainment business in general, meaning people who control the media, the music industry, and also
publication,
private prison. But they're going to go beyond the artist to get the artist to influence and lure in the consumer, which they knew at the time were mainly minorities.
Yep.
In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, which in turn will incite them to want to act like them, and it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison.
Son, soon as you sign that contract and get that money and take that money, you sold your soul. So all that mimic talking about, oh, he sold his soul, she sold his soul. If you sign that contract, if you sign a contract and got that money, you sold your soul. Period. Point blank period. Soon as you sign that contract, you sold your soul. When you do that contract, say do all this and do all that, and if you don't do it, you're gonna get put on the shelf. You sold your soul.
I see why he ended up feeling this way at the end. There's a price to everything we do in life, especially when we're talking about signing to a record label where you end up becoming nothing but a means to an end.
With their agenda.
Oh, yeah.
To the point to where it's completely out of our hands. I hate to say it, y'all, but we blew it. Once again, we blew it. We gave up our culture only to have it flipped around and used on us as a weapon to destroy our communities and influence the young minds of our young generation in a negative way.
Yeah.
We were so blinded we didn't even know it. They tricked us with the money and gave us all this stuff, and a lot of people, forgot about the struggle.
That's why they hand select these dudes at 19 and 18 and 17 and 16. It's getting lower and lower. Because you know what? When you get somebody that never had no money before and you offer them a platform to be doing what they doing, and what they doing right now is a bunch of ignorance. But they don't know that because a lot of the cats ain't got no mothers and no fathers. You know what I'm saying? At the same time. If they got a mother, they ain't got no daddy. If they even got that. So you got these dudes who all of a sudden got a large amount of wealth and they basking in ignorance.
Music now, like I tell people, like music now, what they did was they flipped it on us. They turned music into crack. So what crack did in the 80s was like it made a lot of people rich, but the damage it did is far more greater. So what they doing with music now is like, here, crack in the 80s. We gonna fuck up their whole generations to come because we gonna dumb them down. We're here.
What, in your opinion, what do we do? Because I be going on.
We gotta start holding people accountable.
You gotta start holding people accountable.
Turning their hearts far away from God.
So you got these dudes who all of a sudden got a large amount of wealth and they basking in ignorance.
For fortune, fame, and notoriety.
In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, which in turn will incite them to want to act like them, and it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison.
In order for a rapper to make it, that he has to be a part of these secret circles. And I'm sure that being presented to a rapper is a choice that one must have to make.
A lot of tension in the room, huh?
And we're not going to the gun store buying guns like that. We're getting those guns given to us. Throughout history, you've heard about governments funding particular factions and other forms of government forming other factions so these factions could war. You hear about that in the Iran-Contra, and this Iran-Contra actually funded the drug war, actually funded the drugs. So if the CIA is a part of Iran-Contra and the Iran-Contra helped fund the gangs with the crack epidemic and all of that, do you think the CIA wasn't privy to the street gangs?
What they do with the artists is easy. They send a stylist at them first.
Yeah. Yep.
And if the stylist report back and be like, oh, he ready, then they invite you to the party. Ready, and then next thing you know, you get invited to the party with the greeting is the man squeezing.
Whoa.
I'm telling you.
Now, do the stats on it, the private prison system costs just as much to a taxpayer as it does to the state and the federal prisons. We'll say, where'd all the factories go and all the jobs in the United States go for all that? The United States don't make nothing or manufacture nothing no more. All the factories are closing down. Look in your rural areas, Nebraska to Ohio to even places out here in California. You know where everything's being made at? Engines and toys and cars and all that type of stuff.
Prison.
In the prison. So you can pay them a zero. Talk to them.
That baby, that stroller you pushing your baby in, was made in the prison. That crib she sleeping in was made in the prison.
Engines for cars, man. Not just license. They got us stuck off those 1930s movies and all that where they was making license plates. They ain't just making no license plate.
Look at NBA YoungBoy. That's the type of music they want to push. They gave the music industry to the younger generation because they don't have a clue what's going on. They all in bed with each other, so they control the biggest media outlets, and they control the prison outlets. They control the music business. They all in bed with each other. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of y'all probably knew this Bob Barker, which is The Price is Right, the old guy that was the host of The Price is Right. How the you think he got his money? This sell clothes, toiletries, and all type to the prison systems. And this is like, the further you go up the ladder, the more you realize it's not about money, it's about control.
You comfortable? As a pair of fur-lined bedroom slippers.
You gotta start holding people accountable. You gotta start holding people accountable.
Basically, since 1997, whatever has happened in urban America as far as the perception on television and film, I was basically the fly on the wall. So for me and the fellas around me, it was all fun, but we did not know that we were a part of a system. Even going back to what the brother talked about with the homosexuality, with the rap, here's the kicker. What it is, it's about control. See, that's what makes it, that's why you see so many buffoons nowadays in television and film, doing things that we know are like, wow, Jamie Foxx, you would say that? Wow, Jay-Z, you would actually sit there and do an anti-Semitic commercial? Because they're in a bind. Because once you reach a certain level within that weapon of mass destruction, you have to give something up. There's something that you're going to give up because you got to be down with that crew. And how do I know? Because it happened to me. That is why I'm standing here talking right now. So it reached a certain point where now it's time for them to introduce me to the inner workings of this monster that's created. So now you have a rapper who will get turned out by a high-ranking label exec because, well, what you gonna do? I mean, if I want to be a rapper and I walk in and the label exec tells me that this is what I need to do for him because, hey, he put my album on when I really wasn't that talented. But they pushed me because they saw that I was something that they could sell. So when you bring me in a room and there's my favorite rapper right there who's in the same room, so that must mean he must have committed the same gay act as I did. So at the end of the day, depending on where your level is within yourself, you go do it. You understand? So I literally lived the devil taking me to the mountain and saying, you need to go to the left, you can have all of this. And I was there. It was ritualistically done. The vice president sent his right-hand man to me